Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. Our show is a production of our nonprofit organization, the Hemp and Cannabis Foundation, or THCF, and our affiliated political committee, the Campaign for the Restoration and Regulation of Hemp, or CRRH. We have an exciting show for you tonight. We have John Cornett here to provide musical accompaniment. Hi, John. Hey. Tim is gone, but as promised, we have a nice pumpkin here we'll be displaying a little later that he carved and brought in honor of Halloween. I like to call it Halloween. Dr. Levesque is here, and we'll be taking your phone calls together in just a few minutes. And we have a lengthy video with outdoor shots from the THCF Medicinal Gardens and the song by Human and the Human Revolution, The Tree of Life, which in my opinion is the best cannabis song ever. So stay tuned for an exciting show as we bring out our infamous dancing cannabis leaves. Ta-da.
Like so many brainless clones, sound the alarm, re-educate. Sound the alarm, investigate. Now is the time for the truth. Whoa, whoa. Now is the time. Whoa, whoa. Dissension is the only way and live to see another day. Sound the alarm, re-educate. Sound the alarm, investigate. Now is the time for the truth. Now is the time. the truth. Now is the time. Whoa,
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
That's a great song.
Thank you very much.
Really like that. Welcome, Doctor.
Yes, sir.
Back in. How are you doing?
Well, I'd like to show this picture. Who's got me on the camera here?
They want you. We want you. Uncle Sam wants you.
Can you focus in tighter on
They're
this?
doing it.
Sure you can.
They're doing it. They want you to point it over this way, though. There you go. Uncle Sam. It's time to vote, isn't it? We're at election time.
During World War II, this picture, Uncle Sam wants you to grow hemp. So I was able to have this pulled off the computer, and we're going to start an advertising campaign for Uncle Sam and who else?
Oregon farmers.
Oregon farmers.
We want Oregon farmers to be able to grow hemp.
So there you go. Uncle Sam is on our side.
That's for sure.
Very good.
You should be. Anyway, hey, if you're out there and you have a question for us tonight, then you should call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. We'll be taking your calls throughout the evening. Oh, about another 50 minutes or so. So get your call in right away. So we've had an interesting week building up to the election. We want our viewers out there to know the difference between the major parties out there and the minor ones. So you should know this is a show that's dedicated to ending adult marijuana prohibition, restoring industrial hemp, and helping medical marijuana patients. And out of the presidential candidates out there, the Republican, John McCain, wants to continue raiding medical marijuana gardens and is against patients' access to marijuana. And he's completely against decriminalizing it. The Democratic nominee, Barack Obama, is for ending federal raids on medical marijuana patients and allowing states to have medical marijuana laws unimpeded by the federal government. He, at one point in the past, supported decriminalization, but dropped that support at some time in the past. I'm not sure what his position on industrial hemp is. If you look at the Green parties, the Green Party is completely in favor of ending adult marijuana prohibition, restoring industrial hemp, and helping medical marijuana patients, as is the Libertarian Party. The Libertarian Party is in favor of the medical marijuana laws that protect patients and wants to end adult marijuana prohibition, restore industrial hemp. So they're the four top parties, I think. There are a lot of others out there, but there's our election breakdown for you. And it seems to me that anyone but the Republican is going to be a lot better than where we are today, because it has, they haven't come and shut our show down. At least we have that, but they certainly have arrested a lot of people and imprisoned them at an ever-increasing rate. Over 800,000 people were arrested last year.
Per year.
Yeah, arrested last year and this year. And I think we topped just last month 20 million marijuana arrests now. Since marijuana was criminalized, over 20 million Americans have been arrested for marijuana. So,
and most of them for just possession of maybe one stick.
Yeah, exactly. Most of them for simple possession of a small amount. And in a lot of states, Oregon was the first state to decriminalize back in 1973, but in a lot of states, simple possession is a fairly serious crime that can lead to imprisonment. It doesn't always happen, but they do drag you through the court process. And the court process is kind of like the tar baby from the old tales down in the South about Brer Rabbit and the tar baby. Once you touch the tar baby, you cannot get away. He sticks to you. And the court systems are like that, because once you're in their grasp,
you become a felon.
Yep, you could become a felon. It depends on.
Well,
in some places.
Yeah.
In Oregon, possession of an ounce or less of marijuana is an infraction, which isn't even technically breaking the law. It's called bending the law, and it can only be you can only have a fine and no permanent criminal record. If you have more than an ounce, though, it's a misdemeanor. Up in Washington, it's a misdemeanor as well, and so in Washington, you face a mandatory 1 day in jail. So they have to take you to jail. And even if you're just locked up for an hour or two, they consider that enough to meet your 1 day. But the judge could sentence you to up to 6 months for possession of less than 40 grams in Washington State. In Washington State, once you get above 40 grams, then it becomes a felony. Where in Oregon, once you get above an ounce, it becomes a felony. So there you have it. But we are for ending adult marijuana prohibition. We've been circulating a petition, the Oregon Cannabis Tax Act petition. We've done some polling recently and are considering how to proceed in light of that polling. And we'll have more information on that next week. So stay tuned, and we'll be back to talk about our plans with the Oregon Cannabis Tax Act. And you can find out more about it there at that website that's on your screen, cannabistaxact.org, which is also linked from octa2010.org. And you can find out more down at our office at 105 Southeast Ankeny, Southeast 18th at the corner of Ankeny here in Portland. Well, I guess everybody's at a Halloween party tonight. Usually we get lots of phone calls coming in. If you're out there, this is your chance to get through at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448.
Well, I did hear something very, very interesting during the past week or so. At 20 different sites in the United States, the Veterans Administration is having post-traumatic stress virtual reality therapy, in which the victims are subjected, in the veteran's case, to bombing noises and machine gun noises and mortar blasts.
That's supposed to help?
And that's supposed to help.
Oh.
So 2 days ago...
You were a combat veteran in World War II.
Well,
you fought in Patton's army and liberated Germany.
When Ken Burns showed his World War II show in Portland, it was so realistic, I was almost diving under the furniture. I told him, I said, this is either the best or the worst that I've ever seen, because it's so realistic. But one artillery barrage is usually enough for most people, and I went through about 3 of them. So, been there, seen that.
I fired the artillery barrage.
Oh yeah, he was.
I was the artillery cannon crewman in the army during the presidency of Jimmy Carter.
What's going on? There's a side story to this, that I was asked by a social worker at the Veterans Administration Hospital if I would help PTSD veterans get a marijuana permit, and I had over 400 of them altogether. Now, within the past week, I heard that Oregon Health Sciences University is starting a virtual reality treatment program, but they can't get any volunteers because they all have medical marijuana permits.
Doesn't sound very good to me, but you know, the Israeli army knows what to do, because they give soldiers who have PTSD marijuana and Marinol both. Hey, we have a caller. Hello, caller. You're on the show.
Yes, hello, Dr. Levesque.
Hi.
How you doing?
Okay.
Okay, bud. I wanted to ask you guys, you know, I know you're talking about our president-to-be, McCain. You know, I think he's just like Mr. Reagan in his ideas. I think they should have stayed back as far back
I hope it's
as
not
they possibly
McCain.
can, because these guys aren't helping us with the battle. In fact, I think they're making it even worse. I know just through the experience that I've had with dealing with the Reagan era and everything else, it's like a coming back with this McCain character. And I just want to let you guys know, you know, that I voted for the right man, and I'm hoping that he's going to take care of us, and because we've had an uphill battle with this stuff, and with your help and Dr. Levesque, you know, doing what he can do, and you know, there's not many men that can vouch for what he's done for our cause. And Paul, you know that as well as I do. and the effort you've put out has been wonderful. And I just wanted to call and let you guys know, because we all got to stick together. We all got to try to make these people understand that it's not what they think. Even though you see them ads on bulletin boards outside talking about how bad marijuana is. It's not. It's the people
we are
that are
under attack again. I have to inform you and all of our viewers out there that the Associated Industries of Oregon is mounting a campaign to vastly curtail the Oregon Medical Marijuana Act. They have a legislative agenda, and they've been touring the state. And when we show up for their meetings, they won't let us in, even if we've prepaid and signed up for their conferences, their drug-free workplace conferences. There's a construction owner of Harmon Construction, Dan Harmon, has gone on what he calls, quote, a moral crusade, end quote, to curtail Oregon's medical marijuana law. So we urge you to contact your state legislators, the ones who we're going to be voting for next week, the ones who go down to Salem, and urge them to protect Oregon's medical marijuana law. Now's a good time to talk to them and see which ones are going to protect Oregon's medical marijuana law before the vote, if you haven't already mailed your ballot in. So want to urge you and bring you up to speed on there's probably the most serious threat the medical marijuana program has faced here in Oregon, underway from the Associated Industries of Oregon and Dan Harmon. So we really urge you to contact your state legislators, the ones who work in Salem, Oregon, and tell them to protect the state medical marijuana law.
Okay, well, that sounds great. You wouldn't happen to know or have the number where maybe our viewers and myself can get that number, or I would love to contact them just to let them know, because you've got, like you say, this character Harmon. He probably don't know his head from a hole in the ground, but no. He's anything to fight against.
He's been going to Chamber of Commerce's all over the state to gain support for his goal, which is to reintroduce the failed bill, Senate Bill 465, that basically says employers can fire medical marijuana patients and put a sign out saying medical marijuana patients need not apply. And they want to establish what they call a drug-free workplace. Well, medical marijuana patients don't use medical marijuana on the job and don't use medical marijuana before working. They're not impaired when they go to work. This is simply a bill to restrict Oregon's medical marijuana law based on their moral belief that somehow there's been too much, quote, permissiveness in our state. And that's what they've said specifically, too much permissiveness. And so they want to reduce the amount of medical marijuana that a patient can have down to 2 ounces and reduce the number of plants a patient can grow to 3 plants. Right now we're allowed to have 24 ounces and 24 plants. So they would like to dramatically reduce that. And they'd also like to restrict clinics, so that clinics that help medical marijuana patients would be out of business, and they'd have to only see their local doctors, and HMOs could not technically under these bills recommend medical marijuana. And so
I hope none of us that are listening, our viewers and anybody else, use this guy, because it sounds like he's some kind of a contractor or whatever.
Yeah, he owns one of the largest construction companies in the state. And he represents these industries that seem to think that they need to put us all in jail and put us out of work.
Oh, my God.
And the sad thing about it is he's got a lot of support. These Chamber of Commerces around the state are allowing him to come in and make these presentations to business owners, and they aren't allowing any opposition in to express, that there's public opposition to this thing. And they're telling people that we have no support out there, that we have no organization, and that, they're going to be able to push this law in over the top of us. They have a lot of money. And that's really one of the key factors in politics. So we urge you to contact your state legislators. We do have a number on reaching them, and I'll have that up on the screen here in just a little bit.
Well, look, Paul, thanks a lot very much. I'm not going to stay on the line, but I'll get that number when you bring it up. And you and Dr. Levesque, take care, and thanks a lot for your.
All right,
your
thanks
hard
for your
work,
phone
okay?
call. Thanks
Bye.
for your support too. So yeah, we basically have to fight this thing. This is
well, let me make a suggestion.
that's where our Cannabis Tax Act petition is something that we got to kind of put to the side and focus on this, because the petition campaign for 2010 will happen after the legislative session. Here in Oregon, we have a 6-month legislative session that runs in the odd-numbered years. So starting first week in January, it's going to run through probably July. I mean, sometimes it ends in June, sometimes it runs to August, but usually it'll end in July. And so we've got to get out there and lobby like we've never lobbied before, and make sure this guy is stopped dead in his tracks, and show the state representatives that the medical marijuana law has broad support.
We ought to have seminars every place that you have a actual clinic, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, at the very least. And believe me, we'll be organizing support against this as the legislative session comes up. We have another phone call, though. Hello, caller. You're on the show.
Oh, hi, Paul. This is Betty, and I've received in this HUD building I live at from the manager a notice that medical marijuana patients will be evicted and prosecuted.
Huh.
She put it up on everybody's door.
Well, I recommend that you contact a lawyer. There's a lawyer out there who's been working on some of these cases, a couple of them. One of them I would recommend would be Ann Whitty, and the other one would be Philip Liebenbaum. Both of those attorneys would fight for your rights, and I know Ann has a broad background in tenant-landlord law and disputes.
You got their numbers.
Ann's number is right here in my handy little PDA, and I know it's 503. We'll get to it. 220-2525. That's 503-220-2525.
Well, I thank you, Paul. Thanks for all the good work you're doing.
Yeah, you're welcome. And Ann Whitty helped on our soundboard here on our TV show in the past, and she's been the main attorney for the Hemp and Cannabis Foundation over the years. She helped protect patients' rights in many different forums. So she's a great attorney.
I believe I've met her, and absolutely she's great. And did you say Rosenblum?
Ann Whitty is her name.
Oh, the other one.
Oh, Philip Liebenbaum.
Philip Liebenbaum. I met him. I know. What's his number?
Gee, I don't have his number right here. I don't think.
Phone book.
That's okay. Thank you.
I might have it, but when I put up Philip Liebenbaum, it's PL, and I pull up this guy called Philip Levesque. I don't know who he is. But,
I can call him.
And I got Paul Loney popping up here, too. Paul Loney's a good one. He's 503-234-2796.
Thanks so much,
I think that's
Paul.
right. Hopefully I'm giving out the right number.
They're all in the phone book.
This
Paul
is
Loney.
good. I can get this. It's good. Y'all keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, Paul Loney's main number is 503-234-2694. That's 503-234-2694.
Well, thanks.
So,
Well,
all you PLs out there.
Yeah, I had occasion to go down to the state office building today where the OMP, what's the name of it?
Oregon Medical Marijuana Program.
OMMP.
Yeah.
And they have their own office down there
They
now.
do, and they've got a little room with privacy. You walk in, and you can only go in one at a time, and if no one's there, there's a lit-up green button on the wall. You're supposed to press the green button to get assistance from them. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland, if you ask me.
I went there just to see what was going on today, and there were several people standing in line. One says, "You're Dr. Levesque, aren't you?"
You're recognized in our group. We have a film clip. This is a wonderful song. It's called "The Tree of Life" by Human and the Human Revolution. They performed at this year's Hempstock Festival. Expect to see them at next year's Hempstock Festival. In my opinion, this song says exactly what this television show in our organization is about. And you have some wonderful film clips and video and pictures from the THCF Medical Garden as produced by Aiko, our esteemed web master. So enjoy.
Tell y'all a little bit about a plant I know that can save the world. It grows long and tall and has flowers that can make your mind swirl. It's a funky plant with a fiber that is resistant to rain and mold. It's the strongest plant fiber known to man, the best rope you'll ever hold. Well, the pioneers covered up the wagon trains with a canvas made of hemp. And Washington and Jefferson grew it on their farms and said to make the most of it. First stars and stripes were sewn on hemp, the first constitution too. This is around the world for food, fiber, oil, medicine, and fuel. And if we press its seeds, we won't have no need for any other oil. We can make paints and inks, or run our car, we'll go back next season. It'll fix the soil, the most nutritious seed we can put in our mouth with omega-6 and 3. We can feed the world with the tree of life and live sustainably. But if we cut down all the trees, we won't have nowhere to breathe. We'll grow fields of hemp instead. We can make our paper, build a house from it. It's the God's plan grown wild and free, living the way that we ought to be. Gonna leave my children a better world than my ancestors left me. Whoa, whoa. La 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 la. Whoa, whoa.
Marijuana plant, they often call it dope, can also be made into oil or rope. Some people say you smoke it and you feel fantastic, but from hemp you can make an alternative to plastic. Made from plants, not petroleum, you see, so it won't still be around in 4003. It can biodegrade, which means there'll be less pollution. Just another reason for a hemp revolution.
Well, the flowers of the female hemp plant make the best medicines on earth. Helps cancer and AIDS patients eat their food. Helps those with depression overcome the blues. Glaucoma, epilepsy, nausea, insomnia, stress, neurosis, psychosis, pain, PMS. All the studies have been done and all the doctors agree, but they can't make money off this plant, you see, because it's free. It grows from a seed, wild and free, like we ought to be. You know the future is grown in our own backyards. If we cut down all the trees, we won't have nowhere to be. We'll grow fields of hemp instead. We can make our paper, build a house from it. It's the God's plan grown wild and free, living the way that we ought to be. Gonna leave my children a better world than my ancestors left me. Whoa, whoa. La 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 la. Whoa, whoa.
In the mid-1930s, it was the billion-dollar crop. With the invention of the decorticator that could produce it non-stop. But then a smear campaign with Mexicans to blame started making people thinking to make your brain go pop. Yeah, since then it's never stopped. It ain't like getting high for paint and crack rock. Time to bring it back to nature, time to bring back some life. Let the farmers do their job, stop giving them strife. Renewable resources, life-giving forces. Panels for your cars and saddles for your horses. DuPont, Monsanto, making the wrong choices. Suicide genes, extinguishing our voices. Cutting down the trees, polluting the 7 seas. Leaving the fate of the planet to the corporate entities. Corrupt politics, warfare, disease. Now it's time to make a change, it's time to plant seeds.
Ever so nutritious you can oil seeds. It gives you all the protein you will ever need. You can make it in a sandwich with jelly or jam, or make it in a soap or a lotion for your hands. You can make it into fuel, put it right in our cars, and we won't need the oil and won't have to start wars. You can make it into paper, right as much as you please, cause it grows like a weed and we won't have to cut trees. So put your faith in hemp, such a versatile plant, and don't let the government tell us we can't, cause hemp can help us all in so many ways, and it doesn't mean that we will all be living in a day. It's versatility, sustainability, look at history, it ain't no mystery, hemp for victory.
If we cut down all the trees, we won't have no enemy. We grow fields of hemp instead. We can make our paper, build a house from it. It's the good guy's plan, grow wild and free, living the way that we ought to be. Gonna leave my children a better world than my ancestors left me. Whoa, whoa. La 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 la. Whoa, whoa. So in this modern day and age, when we seem to lack spirituality, this one single plant can bring us back almost 10,000 years in history. To the Shiva, Piranhas, the Jesus, the Christ, to the Buddha, the pagans, the goddess, the light, to commune with all the animals, to go with all the trees, to realize we gotta seek is inside me. As the earth is the mother, we gotta take care of the earth, cause the earth is the mother that gives life birth. And we can heal all our relations with a single green plant, and we can start right now.
We got to legalize, we're gonna come alive. All the people who know what's up, gonna say what the heck we letting these suckers get away with it for. Come on and open the door. Are you with me? Are you with me? It's gonna take my organ to shut the suckers down. We're not fooling around, but they're keeping us divided, opposite-sided. What do we Americans do? We keep buying it. Black and white, they're making us fight, and still in the same races. Hatred justifies violence over nations. Gotta wake up to see the real enemy is the powers that be. From the opposition, see, wake up now to nature's creation. A sacred herb can unite the nations. Gotta legalize the herb of adoration.
That's a clip from The Tree of Life with some THCF medicinal garden pictures there in the background, as produced by Ico. And there were some shots from the Hempstock Festival of Human and the Human Revolution playing there. We had a question a little bit ago about how to contact your state legislators, and we now have that number. If you want to contact Oregon state legislators, you'd call 1-800-332-2313. That's 1-800-332-2313. And if the local number is 503-986-1187. We'll bring that back up in a minute, so get your pens. We'll take this phone call. Hello, caller. You're on our show.
Oh, hello, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Welcome. We're doing well.
Yeah, this question is for Dr. Levesque. Have you ever recommended DSMO and hash oil, and how is it used in the body?
Well, DMSO helps anything penetrate the skin, and that would certainly include hash oil or the equivalent. But does that answer your question?
Yeah. And is it helpful?
Well, certainly.
For topical applications, you don't even need DMHSO, but cannabis has long been used as a topical agent. I have a collection of medicinal marijuana containers, and out of those, I would say a good quarter of them are for topical application. Some of them from Johnson & Johnson, our baby shampoo company and baby oil company. Some of them mixed with aspirin, so you'll have cannabis and aspirin in a topical patch. They can it's like 10 inches wide and 2 feet long, and you're supposed to cut off the size you need from this big roll. It's kind of nifty.
Why are you interested in topical administration? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, why are you interested in topical use, anyhow?
Well, I just heard that it's used. You can use that for hash oil. It's a way of using hash oil for that. And what about hash oil? Do they have hash oil gel caps?
Yeah.
Yeah, people can make them.
Oh,
no doubt about that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Well,
sure.
Well, the whole thing is, if you take it orally, it takes it how long to start working? 3 hours?
No, not 3 hours. About an hour to an hour and a half. In some cases, you'll start feeling about 30 minutes, or it'll just hit you all of a sudden about 90 minutes later.
And if you inhale it like you were smoking it, but
almost immediate.
But you use a vaporizer within a minute. get the results. So I can't see any.
The advantage of taking it orally as opposed, I'm not sure about topically, about the length of duration of effect, but when you inhale cannabis, either through smoke or vaporization, and when marijuana is smoked, it's really the vaporization that takes place before burning that gives the medicinal effect.
Yeah.
It's not the smoke itself, it's the vaporized components before the burning takes place. But in either case, when inhaled, cannabis lasts from 1 to 4 hours, where if you take it internally, orally, then it lasts from 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
So the length of duration of the effect is longer, and therefore the need for re-medication would be less when taken orally.
Well, most people have found out what they call titration.
Right. You can't do that as easily orally.
Oh, absolutely. That's the big problem. That
and that's where you adjust the dosage.
Well, once you take it orally, you're stuck with it, and if you take too much, you're going to be buku sorry is the word.
Kind of psychedelic. Yeah. Hey, we have another caller. Hello, caller. You're on the show.
Hello. Good evening, Paul.
Hi.
I'm the guy that actually gave the doctor those Hawaiian shirts, if you remember me.
Say that one more time.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I was the person that gave the doctor the Hawaiian shirts a while back.
Oh, okay. Cool. We've got some kind of static on your phone line. Are you there?
So a headphone and everything. And my question is the law still on the books that if you get arrested for possession of marijuana and convicted, and the DMV is notified, do you automatically lose your license for 6 months or a year, whatever? Is that law still on the books?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. However, if you appeal it, they, I think on the second appeal they drop it and you win.
All right.
But you've got to keep appealing it and not accept the license suspension.
I understand.
You know, the federal government went to every state and urged that the states had to pass this or they would lose their highway fund money from the federal government. So all the states were put under duress and forced to pass this law.
Okay, I understand that, and I know about the federal laws with the highway tax money. The other thing, I have a card, a medical card, so I don't have any problem with that. I was asking a friend of mine. I have one other question.
Okay, we're going to try it, even though a lot of people think there's a lot of static on your line there. Go ahead.
Can you still hear me, Paul?
Just barely.
All right, hang on a minute, 1 second. Can you hear me?
Just go ahead with your question.
All right, the question is for Dr. Leck.
It's better.
Levesque, excuse me.
Whatever.
I was recently diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Yep.
I had surgery and I had the prostate removed. I had a double breach of the membrane and one seminal vessel was infected. Do you think that I should get radiation treatments? One urologist says yes, the other one says maybe.
I'm going to leave that to a urologist. That's not my field.
He doesn't feel qualified to answer that question, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know that, but I was just asking off the hook on that one. What he thought of radiation or...
Well, I know that it's used, but at the same time, there's prostate cancer can be various things, and
you know,
sometimes radiation works, sometimes it doesn't.
We have a physician in our office on staff who has practiced radiation nuclear medicine, and if you'd like to call the office and ask the doctor there, you can call our office at 503-281-5100. That's 503-281-5100. And just as Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, you could ask her too.
Could you say that number one more time, Paul? I want to write it down.
Sure, it's 503-281-5100. It's 503-281-5100. That's the direct line right into the clinic.
Who do I ask for?
Doctor. Or just say you have a question about nuclear medicine and pass it on to the doctor.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much, and happy Halloween to everybody there.
Thank you. Hey, you got your sound in a little bit better there toward the end. If you're out there and you have a question for us tonight, you can call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. We'll be taking your calls for about another 15 minutes or so. And so feel free to call. I want to remind our audience that if you're a medical marijuana patient, we have classes where we teach patients how to cultivate marijuana. We have beginning, intermediate, and advanced classes. We also have classes on how to make medicinal grade hashish. And you're welcome to call and ask about those classes. They're every Wednesday night. And call at 503-235-4606. It's 5:30 every Wednesday night. Just show up. You can take part. Also, for medical marijuana patients, Oregon NORML has meetings twice a month where cannabis is donated to patients and plants are donated. So if you're a medical marijuana patient and you can't find medicine or plants to get your garden going, you'd want to go to the twice monthly Oregon NORML cardholder meeting. It's on the 2nd and the 4th Saturday. So it's not going to be tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow will be the 2nd Saturday of the month. Then the 4th Saturday, it's at the corner of Southeast 49th and Hawthorne. That's Southeast 49th and Hawthorne at the Mount Tabor Theater and Pub. There's more information about it right there on your screen. But it's a great resource. You have to be a card holder. You have to be over 21. And you have to have both your medical marijuana card or paperwork showing you've submitted an application that's pending and a valid identification card with your photo on it, your driver's license or Oregon ID card. So that's a great resource for people out there. You know, medical marijuana helps a lot of different people. And probably the largest single category of patients are chronic pain patients. Chronic and severe pain is the largest category. There's also other conditions, neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, and multiple sclerosis and other spastic conditions, things that cause chronic muscle spasms like multiple sclerosis and asthma. And then there are gastrointestinal disorders like Crohn's disease and IBS that cause severe nausea and other things that cause severe and chronic nausea, in addition to cancer, AIDS, and glaucoma. If any of your family or friends has any of these conditions, then medical marijuana might be an option that could help them. So for more information on that, you can call our office here in Portland. It is 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. We have a 24-hour voicemail, and we'll be taking your calls and calling you back in short order, so you can call there now. If you're up in Seattle, our Seattle phone number is 206-878-1701. That's 206-878-1701. In Denver, where this show, just as important, is one of the most popular cable access television shows, you can call our Denver office at 303-403-9996. That's 303-403-9996. We have a couple offices in California now, and you can call our office down in Riverside. Riverside number is 951-782-9898. That's 951-782-9898. If you are in Las Vegas, Nevada, or anywhere in the state of Nevada, we recently started seeing patients there. You can call us there at 702-202-0249. That's 702-202-0249. I just got back from Hawaii and saw a number of patients over there, and we're going to start seeing patients next month, in a few weeks, in Montana. So if you want more information about those clinics or any of our others, call 1-800-723-0188. That's 1-800-723-0188. And I think we have another caller. Hello, caller. You're on our show.
Hello?
Hello?
Yay!
You're the one. Hello?
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 Speak.
Well, I can barely hear you if it's me talking.
It is you talking. Hopefully,
All right, well,
the
here's my
sound
story.
will get through there.
I have a brother who is in Alaska, is a 10-year survivor of leukemia. And he went to the doctor complaining about not having an appetite. And the doctor prescribed 60 synthetic THC capsules for him. He went to the pharmacist, and they wanted $900.
Yep.
It's a very expensive drug, that
Around
Marinol.
And got 30 pills for $250. My question is, how can they do that?
They can get away with it because
the company patented
THC prescription is legal.
$900?
Well, that's not legal.
That's highway robbery. I mean, you can obviously grow and make your own capsules out of your cannabis flowers or leaf, so that's an option. But to get it through the store, that's the only. It's a synthetic THC that was patented as a drug called Dronabinol and is marketed as Marinol. And so it's a very expensive drug. It comes in 3 different pill sizes. There's 2.5 milligrams, 5 milligrams, and 10 milligrams. So they make this synthetic THC through a pretty expensive synthetic process, and then they suspend it in sesame oil. They put it in, and then put it in gel caps. They said they put it in the sesame oil so no one will try to take it out and use it in any other form.
They're the big drug kings, aren't they?
Say that again?
I mean, $900.
It's outrageous. It really is. It's
A lot of people grow marijuana up in Alaska.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I told him.
Well, yeah, in Alaska, there's a ruling that protects people who are just growing for personal use.
Well, I will tell him that, but, I mean, it just jerks my jaw.
Yeah, me too. That's pretty outrageous. That's how they, finance these pharmaceutical companies, is by taking sick people and taking all the money out of their bank accounts.
That sure seems to be the method. Thank you very
much. It is, unfortunately. Well, hopefully we'll come up with a better way to administer health care here in the United States over the next few years. We'll see. Thanks for your phone call.
That is just totally outrageous.
I've heard even higher quotes, it depends on the size of the capsule. Some of them are $25 each. So if you had 90 of those, you'd be talking about a $2,000
Well,
bill.
the last I heard, they were about $15 a piece, but maybe
depends on the size, whether the 2.5s, the 5s, or the 10 milligrams. I don't think they cost that much different to sell, but they've got to fleece us somehow, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we're down to just about 5 minutes left to go. If you have any phone calls for us, now's the time to act. Call us at 503-288-4448. Is that right? 288-4448. Yeah, that's it.
Anybody in the audience wants to get access to my website, come up after the show, and I'll give you my card and tell you how to do it.
We do have a studio audience, so if you have a question for us and you can't get through on the phone lines, feel free to come down to 2766 Northeast MLK, right at the corner of MLK and Graham Street, like the cracker. And you can ask a question like this gentleman is about to. How are you doing, Wolfie?
Pretty good. I'm kind of curious. I try to understand how other people think, so I'm still trying to figure out why the people who are proponents of Marinol won't accept that the majority of evidence seems to indicate that it's another cannabinoid that's the primarily medical useful one.
Yeah.
I'm very
well, it's
confused by
synthetic
that.
THC. It's one of the main cannabinoids. But some people think that if you just take it's controlled in a capsule is one of their arguments, where if you can't test your cannabis to find out how much THC it has, you can't control the dosage.
Well, most people don't like the 10 milligram ones because they get anxiety and paranoia attacks. So that's that.
But it is a pharmaceutical alternative. And one of the reasons that we recommend Marinol is for people who are undergoing drug testing. If you're undergoing drug testing, it's the only way that they can tell the difference between Marinol and marijuana is with a $2,000 test. It's a little out of the range of most employers. So if you have a Marinol prescription, then you can test positive at work. However, I know Dan Harmon and the Oregon Associated Industries, they are trying to force doctors to prescribe Marinol prior to recommending medical marijuana. And so we urge you to contact your state legislators and fight this bill to restrict Oregon's medical marijuana law. We have a couple numbers for you on that. One is toll-free line, hotline into the state legislators is 1-800-332-2313. There it is. Contact your Oregon State representatives at 1-800-332-2313, or you can call them directly at 503-986-1187. Those numbers on your screen. We have another question from our audience. Go right ahead, sir.
Well, it wasn't a question, Paul. I went in and renewed today, and when I was at the state, I asked for and received a copy of the accountability of how much funding there has been from the medical marijuana program.
Oh, all right.
That has gone to the state. Total up so far is close to around about $10 million.
Okay. That's the state fee that's paid.
Are we on a standalone basis or what?
Yeah, it certainly does. And I know they took $1 million of our surplus money and applied it to other healthcare needs back in 2005. So out of that $10 million, $9 million was spent for medical marijuana patients, and $1 million was spent for everybody else for their healthcare needs, as determined by the state. So
that's a tax on sick people, is what that is.
Exactly. It's taking money from the sickest and poorest people, and if it's the only way the program is funded, though, we certainly can't say that it's funded by any other outside money. So, I want to remind you of the Oregon Normal Meetings. That's on the 2nd and the 4th Saturday of each month. So if you're a medical patient, you can go there for help. We'll have some more information about our Oregon Cannabis Tax Act petition next. And there's the website for our website talking about the move by Oregon Associated Industries of Oregon, AIO, and their Dan Harmon leading this charge to restrict Oregon's medical marijuana law. We want to urge you to contact your state reps out there right now before the election and say, should I vote for you? Are you going to protect me? Fight against Associated Industries of Oregon and protect the medical marijuana program. So we want to urge you to do that. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing, Doc?
Yeah, don't smoke in the rain.
Yeah, it's hard to light it that way. It really is. And I don't like smoking myself. I prefer my vaporizer.
Well, absolutely. I think I recommend that all the time. That
I know you do.
That
I want to thank Tim Pate for this wonderful pumpkin, the great cannabis pumpkin, and he's out there doing his pumpkin carving thing. And we're going to go out again with the wonderful tunes of Mr. John Cornette. You ready to play, John? All right, tune in. I want to remind our viewers to tune in next week and help us restore hemp.
Yay!
I think Robert Johnson, the man who wrote this song, passed away before they criminalized marijuana.
Ah.
Oh, baby, don't you want to go? Oh, baby, don't you want to go back to that place in California, my sweet home, Chicago? But 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4. I got my bags packed, baby, booked, I gotta go. I said, oh, baby, don't you want to go back to that place in California, my sweet home, Chicago?